Hey everybody, it's CrisMarie and Susan, and we're here at day 7 of our 10 o'clock Facebook Live, and we'd love you to join us because we want to know what your quarantine hack is. And I think I spelled quarantine wrong, so I have to fix that.
Okay, well, wait, she asked me how to spell it, and I'm the world's worst speller. So I think most of us kind of know some version of that word at this point. So.
And we're out on our deck. We're still in our PJs, so it's a little bit later here. And we're just wondering, what are you doing to make the most of your time being sequestered into your home or, especially on a Sunday? Because I was reading about how the Jewish people celebrate Sabbath, and it actually is quite neat. And somebody was talking about how this whole time could be kind of that. It's like letting go of technology. Well, we're doing technology, but connecting, worshiping,
and doing it not from the usual places because you can't really connect
in
the same way you usually do. So feeling that connection in a different way.
Yes. Like we do at 9 o'clock, we join people that we know in breathing. And so if you, breathing, meditating for 10 minutes at the top of an hour, we do this at 10, our time, Mountain Time.
Well, and I have been reading this book, The Power of 8, and it's a really wonderful book. It's kind of fascinating. She did a big intention project.
This is Lynn Taggart, who also wrote The Field and The Intentional Experience.
Okay, and this particular book has to...
Okay, she says. You're interrupting me, CrisMarie. Just stop it.
But she's really good at looking at the camera. I don't know.
am.
I mean, we're not even in... We can at least quarantine with each other, but we still don't look at each other because,
I look at you all the time.
Right, we're having a little spat, which is something I did want to bring up. I mean, I do imagine, with your significant others, tensions can run high, and like... this is a stressful time for relationships. So remembering that, and we were actually
not expecting it to be different. Like that's okay that you're having tension. Hey, Cindy. Mwah, mwah. I'm trying to get Susan to look at the camera.
I am
good
looking
teaching.
at the camera. Oh my goodness! See, we're gonna fight on the phone for you. Yeah, we are fortunate that we have each other, and except in those moments when we're not feeling that way. But for the most part, very fortunate. And I know there are people out there. I know. I have a sister who is on her own. I mean, her husband died in the last 6 months. Anyway, there's so much I could say about that. And I really feel for her and all that's going on. And I also know she has tons of support, but she is very much an extrovert and likes to be out in her community. She can't do that right now. Mm-hmm. So there are so many people that I think about and I want to share. I hope they're doing okay. And so why I was talking about this.
Right.
was because I have been just fascinated by this book, The Power of 8.
Yes.
And I am actually thinking of starting a group, a Power of 8 group. And because it's all about targeted intention and talks about prayer. There's so many stories I could tell you right now that are, so it would be part of my Power of 8 group. If you might be interested in something like that during this time, because I think it would be a valuable way for me to use my time.
Private messenger her.
Yes, let me know. I would, and I'll send out some information. You'll probably hear more. But the idea being, there's so many different ways that we started this off with what's your hack? And
we want to know what your quarantine hack is. How are you making the most of this time? And we would love it if you put it in the comments so other people can see. Yes, we have that. We do have the power to act with our intentions. Cindy.
Yes,
That's
we
so
do.
True.
This is the whole point of this book, The Power of 8. It's a really great book. And we all know that. But there were some interesting things in there about the specificity of it and the communal aspect of it. And right now we're in a different situation where we can't have the same kind of community, but we can do it, certain times, certain things. Like Joanne, your breathing group, much in that
we partake
line.
in that and walking every morning.
Right.
Making singing videos. You are, Cindy. Those are great singing videos. I love them.
Oh, singing is so important. And me, I don't know that I always sing, but yesterday I had a moment where I had to fix our wood pile, and I put on my Peloton playlist that I have made of my favorite tunes, and I had it on, and I was moving tons of wood to repile it up and dancing, and I'm sure my neighbors may have wondered because I was probably singing really loud to it. So, I just suggest find the music that gives you meaning and purpose. And if you're having trouble, look up any Pink
The artist Pink.
The artist Pink.
She's
She has
awesome.
incredible tunes. So
Yeah, and so those of you that haven't shared, we'd love to know what your quarantine hack is. Susan and Cindy is singing, Joanne is breathing and walking, yours is music and
or
dancing.
going out to be with the horses.
I've started actually coloring more, not in coloring books, that doesn't work for me, but if I'm on a Zoom call or something, I'm coloring, because I'm a doodler, so taking out my crayons, and that just brings me, a little joy. And these little guys, you can't see them. This is Rosie.
I
can't,
probably shouldn't. You've
can't-
seen her before, so just picture her because she's doing her wonderful thing.
I bet people do want, Peloton is really probably making a lot of money right now for people who can afford to buy them.
But you know what? Here's the Peloton
Yes.
hack. Just get yourself some good music and dance around the house.
Yes.
Run in place. Do whatever you need to do to tunes that are thick. That's really what Peloton does well. You could do it on a Zoom call with somebody yelling at you to do it faster and work harder.
That's really what the Peloton does.
And not to take anything away from Peloton. I am fortunate enough to have one. But, if you don't, you could make that experience with your friends.
Yes, and having a dog really does help. We have two, which does, if you can get out. Some cities you can't get out and walk, but walking the dogs is a great thing. FaceTime, laugh dates while I'm enjoying bubble bath. That's so great, Amber. I love that.
Yes, that is cool.
And you have, Tina, I love that you're doing scrapbooking. Like creative projects like that are really
you
healing.
do some awesome scrapbooking,
You do.
too. We've seen
You should post some of your pictures in the
Yes.
comments. I would love to see that.
Yes.
Hey, Ingrid, another friend of ours made a quilt in the weekend. A Peloton dominatrix is key.
Oh, there
telling
you go.
You, go faster.
Yes.
Right on, Sister Goddess. You got it. The reason we're out on our deck. Hey, Kate. Oh my gosh. How are you doing from your healing? So Susan piled the wood. We got the deck furniture out. It's 20 degrees this morning. Jen, hey. Those of you who are just joining, we're talking about quarantine hacks. So let us know what your hack is. How are you making the most of this? Yes, I'm so glad you stumbled on this, Amber. How are you making the most of this time in your house?
Yes, and I noticed, like my other sister, she's doing a special. Well, I better not say it's a surprise. So I'll tell you later on another day. Cancel that.
But she's also, I don't know, she's been giving us awesome poetry from this
really
time.
has.
So it's not necessarily hers, but she's a conduit to people who are writing amazing poetry. And that's actually an opportunity. What can you do that accesses your creativity during this time of isolation?
I know that another woman who's from our town, Laura Munson, she's a writer. She just released her book and was on a big tour and had to stop it. She's now doing it from her front deck here in Montana, and she reads from it. It's really beautiful. So you can look her up, Laura Munson. It's another, and maybe get a story read to you or participate in some writing.
Yes, because she's doing her book tour, so she little reading, a little writing. You get to participate and have that. I love seeing these Haven folks on here. It's awesome because we saw you yesterday, but we're hopefully having more fun today.
Yes, yesterday was a big Haven faculty, was supposed to be a big Haven faculty. It was very different, but we were together. And, Haven is going through its own, how do we deal with this? And right now it's having to close, and there will be things happening to kind of keep Haven alive.
And I think this is a time that we're all really reinventing ourselves and how we work. And a big part of it is it's got to be virtual. And
yes. I love, Carol, that you're having your coffee. That's the perfect thing for this, our morning time.
And so what are your quarantine hacks? Other ideas you can give and put in the comments, because it's sometimes I just don't think of things because I'm in my own world. So I love hearing what other people are doing. And if you share pictures of your art in the comments, we'd love that as well.
And one of the things that came very clear from yesterday's meeting with the Haven faculty was a lot of things about what's the statement? Danger is not an option.
Sandy McCarthy was saying, it was a quote, danger is the circumstance. Like, danger is not optional, but fear is. So really looking at what are the stories you're telling yourself about this? And if you're feeling badly, you're probably telling yourself a lie, which would be what Byron Katie would say, the thought word queen. And so how can you shift your thinking? And you're telling yourself a lie when you feel bad because it's not really serving you.
Hey, Joanne, I love that. We're the new morning show.
I
think that's very cool.
Oh, Cindy, you know that I'm loving this part. Being the new morning show. You're the new breathing group, which we joined yours an hour earlier, and then the morning show of CrisMarie and Susan comes on. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, so
Hey,
if you're
Carol.
getting bored with our topics, please share more topics we can talk about. We'll be happy to.
Because we are, I mean, and part of this is developing a routine that, because for those of you that haven't worked at home, you kind of can get discombobulated, like, what do I do with myself? And so developing routines in this new structure is important for settling and even accessing your creativity. Robert!
I will say, I loved another friend of ours who is a writer, Jackie Hollis, was writing yesterday. It was very on her timeline about, what she's like, in self-operation, I really wanted to know, would I take a shower? Would I put on makeup? Would I?
Hey, Terry!
And it was so...
Do I wear my bra?
Or not.
Or not when I'm at home.
That became something everyone else commented on. But I love that she was talking about it and realized she puts on the makeup for herself. And,
yes.
So, think about, there's so many ways to use this time for observation and reflection and...
That's true. Yeah. I mean, yesterday I did my hair, and I realized I did it for me. Like, we had a video call. I didn't have it for this video call, but we had another video call for Haven, and I did my hair. But I was like, I like my hair. I don't have to take it down. So what are you doing? Like, I saw Amber, you stocked up on all your yummy things. Terry's baking again. That is awesome. Yes. And, so these are really neat ideas for creativity, coming back to yourself.
I was also thinking of, I saw Jan Campbell.
Carol just said she told Bill he doesn't need to wear his bra right now. So I bet he is hugely relieved that her husband doesn't need to wear a bra.
Well, that would be a whole different track to take. You
could do some cross-dressing.
And all sorts of
why
things
not? Nobody can see you but you. So, what were you saying?
Well, Jan, she's somebody who prepares for everything. She was saying, I get prepared for everything that comes up. And so she's preparing, but she put a very nice message out. And I will do what I can to help you and support you. I've got the products. I've got something. And I just was appreciating. She was taking what her strength is and applying it to how she can support people, which I think my niece did something like that too. She was helping people. How could she help people in the community? So there's various, just think, if you're healthy, of course. If you're not healthy, you can't do any of that. But maybe, there's things you can do. Like Cindy found the singing. Various things you can do to support people. So.
And why not share it online? Like, if you are creating things, our comments went away. So now I don't know who's coming and what you're sharing. I'm bummed about that.
I don't know.
I swiped it left or right. Okay. We'll have to figure that out. But sharing your art or what you're writing, or like Cindy sharing her singing, that, why not enrich all of us? Because this is the only way we would get to know you in that. And
hit that comment button. There.
This guy right here?
I don't know.
We'll
see.
No.
Okay, never mind. Oh, well, I guess that's a sign. It may be the end of the morning show.
For today. But we're here every day at 10 a.m. Mountain, 9 Pacific, 11 Central, noon Eastern. So this is our commitment, just to connect and share, because this is what we do. We help people through crisis, conflict, and change, as we help ourselves through crisis.
And as I mentioned, you're going to be hearing from me about my Power of 8 group. If you want to be part of that,
I'd
love to have you.
So, I think you need to re-say that. But if you have quarantine hacks, put them in the comments, share your art. And here's what Susan's going to do next.
I'm going to start a Power of 8 group, but I will tag some information about it in today's post or on my Facebook page or on CrisMarie's, because that gets a lot more activity than mine.
But if you want to join the Power of 8 intention group, private message Susan.
Yes.
And we'll get you the information.
And this would be my version of Power of 8. So if you've heard of the other version, it might be different than that. But this is what I've taken from it.
You should I think you should share your story of your prayer.
We could talk more about that on another day.
Another day.
Okay. All right.
I love that you joined us.